Hello, Assalamualaikum, and a very good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of Stand Up for Yourself. I cannot believe I'm saying episode 4. And today we are super privileged to be joined by Ayu Shahira, a LinkedIn influencer. Say hi to everyone, Ayu. Everyone say hi to Ayu. How are you?
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Thanks for inviting me, man.
Of course. I've had you in my mind ever since I planned for this show.
Wow.
Yeah, I've always because I've been following you. I see the value that you share with everybody in on LinkedIn and the things that you do. So I knew that one day I have to have her on my show. I have to, and the reason why I had you in mind, even from the beginning, is because Stand Up for Yourself is a show that I set up to inspire people, especially graduates, young adults who are struggling, not just with English. I do a lot of English stuff, but just generally in life, we go through lots of ups and downs. So we need to be able to stand up for ourselves no matter what happens. So thank you so much for joining us, Ayu. As we
Welcome.
go along this evening, we will also go through some of the comments or some of the chats that people are going to drop in. So let's get straight to it. Okay, I'm sure your listeners are dying to hear from you, especially about how you lost English. A lot of people were asking, how did she lose English? How did she lose? How is that even possible? So we're gonna find out what happened and how she got it back. All right, we've just quickly hitting the comments to begin with. We've got Amira Masduki who's joined us. She says, "Hi Man, hi, are you? Hello, Amira. Thank you so much for joining." And we're gonna
Hello,
hit the
Amira.
comments as we go along the evening. Okay, so let's begin, Ayu, with tell us a bit about yourself. Yes.
Okay, hello. Good evening, everyone. So, my name is Ayu Shaira Salim. You can call me Ayu. So, I think most of you know me from LinkedIn. So, I'm working as a software engineer in an energy company. I'm also currently, almost currently, very soon doing my PhD in artificial intelligence.
Wow.
And I can see one of my fan there. No, like kidding. Okay. Yep. So I love to do content on LinkedIn, and yep. Yeah, you can say that I do content on LinkedIn almost every day.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm one of the person that is being very lucky to get a dream job during pandemic. So in return of gratitude, I help a lot of fresh graduate and also job seekers to assist them in job hunting. So Alhamdulillah, up until today, I already helped 190 people secure a job in pandemic.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's
That's
basically for me.
amazing.
Thank you
I
so much.
love what you said. I really love what you said that in a way that you're showing gratitude to the fact that you were
Yeah.
still able to secure a job, you decide to give back. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Great. Um, tell us how you started or how did you get involved with the resume writing workshops? How did that start? Where did your experience come from? Share about that with
Okay.
us.
So after internship, right, I had another 1 year to continue my study, and after that, I have quite a lot of HR friends. So one of the trick that he shared to me is, you need to apply as early as possible because most of the big companies, their application no their recruitment process are quite long. For example, I did get Google job interview before. It took me like 2 years. So just imagine, that's why I just stopped halfway. And then that's why I decided to go for job hunting 1 years in advance before I graduated. So
Wow.
Alhamdulillah, yeah, I managed to secure the job 1 semester in advance if compared to most of my friends. And after graduation, I asked my lecturer, what should I do after this, because I already got a good job, and then my degree is also fabulous. I got first class. Yeah, I worked so hard for that. Okay,
I'm
and
sure
then
you
after that,
did. I'm
okay,
sure
so
you did.
yeah, so He said to me, "Why not you help your friend? Because I think some of your friends still struggling doing finding job, and because they just started, right? So okay,
Mm,
then maybe you can start from LinkedIn." That's what my lecturer suggested. So I opened my
nice.
LinkedIn during that time on June 2020. I only have one followers. I can't remember who's that, but then I only have one follower. So just imagine I think last year, June 2020, just one, and then after that, I looked I scrolled down and then I saw, wow, there's a lot of people posting about their result. So what I did, I post my result, and also it went viral because yeah, instead of like my friend, they shared about one semester result. So what I did, because I'm also a marketing person, so I just shared the whole year of result. So I have three consecutive result that have 3.9 as a as my I achieved
CGPA.
3.9 CGPA. Yes, yeah. So it went viral, and then my second viral post was my resume actually. So that's how it started, and because of the resume, there's
Uh-uh.
a lot of people getting a job. Based on the template only. So and then
Wow.
people keep on getting people keep on DMing me. Are you please help me with the resume and all? So before this, I just give them like friend advice,
Mhm.
just give free advice, like okay, you do this, you do that, and then suddenly they said to me, "Oh, Ayu, I already got a job. Wow, your tips is
That's
very good."
nice.
And then eventually, I think the highest resume review I did before was 53 resume review per day. Yeah, so
That's a lot.
there's a lot, and I also work, right? So I cannot do. Luckily, that time was weekend, so
Okay.
the whole day I'm stuck with resume review. But okay lah, now I charge, so I can at least I can pay my rent already because using that.
Well, you gotta move
Yeah.
up.
Ah,
In giving the service also, we cannot be stagnant and we do have to move up. That's amazing.
yes.
Again, I love how you share how you begin, like with one
Mm,
follower to doing 53 resumes, resume reviews.
yeah.
That's huge. That's huge.
True.
Okay, I'm going to
Mm.
hit the comment because we've got a number of people who have joined us. So we've got Nezrik Eddie who's joined us in greetings. Iman and Ayu, looking forward to this session. Greetings, Nezrik. Thank you for
Hi,
joining us.
Nazri.
Hello. We've got a
Hello.
LinkedIn user. I think if I look at my LinkedIn, this is probably Shara, I think. Okay, so she says, hi, Ayu and Iman. Hello, Shara. And Amira says, we'd love to hear more on Ayu's experience. Yep, show more value to people. Thank you for initiating this live. You're welcome very much,
Hi,
Amira.
Amira.
We're also joined by Tukurozita. Hi, Tukurozita. She says, hi, Iman and Ayu. And I believe this is Hanisa, if I'm
Yeah,
looking at my.
Hanisa Mashkuri. Mm.
Yes, Hanisa says, feeling fabulous, Nisa. Yes, we want to applaud you. Thank you so much, Hanisa.
Mhm.
Right. So we'll hit the comments again in a bit. Okay. Um, Still on the topic of resume writing, uh, I find this very interesting. You were exposed to resumes and interviews at quite a young age. How
Yeah.
did that happen?
Okay, so I think I got the recruitment knowledge since I was a kid actually. So my mom did a business in oil and gas industry as
Mm.
a manpower supply for offshore before this. So that was when I started to know how oil and gas company they what kind of requirement that you need to go through in order to be able to work in offshore. For example, if you want to work in offshore, you need to have smart card. You need to go through the what we call that medical checkup, and then need to
Mhm.
do the bullshit and all. So that's when I always see my mom interviewing people. And during that time, the employees are coming from our own village actually, because we want to help people there to gain extra income, right? So
Mhm.
that was when I learned how to do some recruitment, some recruitment thingy, yeah. So and then during my what we call when I was a kid, I my mom never give me like, okay, this is your pocket money. Are you need to work and you need to do something in order to get the pocket money. But it's not
What?
the house chore, the normal house chore, because my mom was a teacher before. So he hate being being a teacher. He's more her passion is more to business. So what
Mm-mm.
she did, she paid us to do all those exam, rancangan mengajar, and also that's when I get involved into all of this, like
Right.
so I started doing all of this when I was in primary three, which is around 10 years old.
9 years
So
old.
yeah, nine, right? 9 years old,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
during that time, my mom teach primary six, so I already learned mathematics in advance because in order to create the learning plan and also the test and
Uh-uh.
also exam, you need to be able to
Yeah.
understand what you're
Yeah.
doing, right? So that's why
Yep.
my mom um, asked us to go to the tuition, but for primary six, even though we're still primary three. So when I was in primary six, I already know everything that I learned already. So that's especially mathematics. So I'm quite pro in mathematics. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, this is mind blowing. Are you? To be honest,
Hmm.
and again, a 9 year old already, and the fact is that you could catch up in that sense where you were able to still do it even though you were nine, sent to year six tuition classes, having to prepare exam questions and things like that. You were able to catch up. That's mind blowing for a 9 year old. That explains the 3.9 CGPA. For how many
Yeah, kinda.
semesters consecutively was that again?
Three
Four.
semester.
That explains a
Yeah.
lot. That really explains a lot. Wow. And salute to your mom. Salute to your
Yeah.
mom for starting you really, really early. And I'm gonna get the comment here. We're joined by AJ Chin. He says, moral of the story, folks, is start them young. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Your mom has given me an idea on what I can do for my 5 year old because she likes to talk as well.
Yes.
So
Oh, okay.
I may have some
That's
plans for
good. That's good. That's good.
I may have some plans for her. So amazing. Cool. Cool. So I guess another lesson here is we are never too young to start anything. And we start and then we see how it goes and we see how it comes along. And here you are today. Are you amazing, amazing? Right.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna bring the topic now to English, okay? And
Okay.
spark some inspiration in our listeners today. Do share with us. What were some of your challenges learning English? What was your exposure like to the English language from a young age? Walk us through your English journey.
I think when it comes to English, I don't really practice English in my house because
Mm.
my mom, yeah, she's also doing agent for maid. So I have a lot of maid. I think sometimes I even have like five maids in my house. So during my during my when I was during my younger time, I can talk Madura actually. So I always listen
Wow.
to, yeah, and we don't have Astro. My mom would prefer to use parabola. I can't remember what's the name. So the bigger one, so you can access Indonesian channel. Yeah,
I
because
see.
yeah, which is very interesting, right? So that's why my BB, my mate, they always watch Sinetron, and then that's
Uh-huh.
when I learn Indonesian language. So actually, when I was kid, I think my first language is Indonesian, and then after that, when I talk to my mom, because my mom want us to train ourselves, we cannot speak Sarawak language because usually Sarawak people, if they talk bahasa Melayu, they will sounds like Indonesian. We have that slang,
Okay.
kenapa kamu macam itu, like that. So that's why
Very
my mom,
textbook BM,
yeah,
like
very textbook
baku.
BM, very baku. Yeah, so
Yes.
that's why I talk kind of semenanjung Malay in my house, and then at the same time, I talk Indonesian language also with my kind of friends, right? Because there's a lot of them, and they're almost like I think 20, 25 like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. So
When
I
did you
think
get your exposure to English? Around, I
so.
mean, like,
Okay. I do learn English. I did learn English in the kindergarten, but then
ah,
it's not really our main language. And most of my friends, they don't talk English. Most of them, they talk in their native language, like Kayan, Iban, yeah, Melanau, and also Sarawak. But then I don't know how to speak it, right? So, and I speak Semenanjung Malay in my house. I don't really speak Sarawak Malay. So it's quite challenging for me to find a friend. So they say if I manage to find any friends that can talk same language with me, then I can become their besties lah. I
Okay.
would say. Uh,
So there was exposure to English from a young age, from
yeah,
you were in when you were in kindergarten. However, there wasn't much practice, or there wasn't
yeah,
much
exactly.
use of the language because of the environment you were in, the surrounding that you were in. So what changed, and how did it change?
Okay, so after my primary school, my mom decided to send me to boarding school, which is SM Science maybe. So that's I think that was when I really take English seriously. But then
Mhm.
still, English is not my first language because a lot of us we just speak Sarawak language because it's
Mhm.
much easier, right? And everyone
Mhm.
will. I think it's I'm quite lucky. I was quite lucky because I can speak English freely there. Nobody will judge me, or let's say if you suddenly talk.
Nice,
Let's say if you want to talk English and then people don't really care. They can just in return they can speak back to you in their own language because they know
nice.
English is important, right? So yeah, we always encourage each other to speak English in our secondary school.
That's
Mm.
awesome. That's awesome. So there was still practice. So you when you went to boarding school, you managed to get that practice lah.
Yeah, get that
Okay,
practice. True.
awesome. So now the million-dollar question playing in everyone's minds: how did you lose it? You lost it for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. How did that
Uh,
happen?
so I lose a little bit of my English touch because I learned French during my secondary school, even though it's a local school. But then because the French test was quite hard, so we need to speak in order to pass the exam. I need to debate in French and also need to write 300 plus
Whoa!
words in French. I took DEF B1 that time. So just imagine for the secondary school, out of 60 students, only 21 of us pass. It's not even A, it's just pass. And yeah, I still remember the debate title for my speaking test, which was I think is it important to provide long holiday to student for education, something like that. Oh my god.
Can you
And
say that in
really,
French? Can you still
yeah,
say that in French?
no,
No.
because I don't practice it anymore, right? So yeah, but
Oh.
back then I can speak fluently
Yeah,
French,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
especially during my form four.
Nice. Which one's more difficult though, French or English?
I think both of them is almost the same because they don't
Okay.
really have. Yeah, it's quite okay if compared to Arabic because Arabic even yeah we have
Hmm.
like 14 verbs like yeah, huwa huma
Yeah.
hum ya huma huna anta tuma antum. There's a lot of them. For French it's just 7, and also they're using same alphabet like us, so you don't have to memorize like Japanese, right?
Mm-mm.
They have it's like art already. Their alphabet.
The language. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the language itself, right? They have katakana, hiragana. Mm-mm.
Ayu,
Mm.
sidetrack a bit. How many languages do you speak? How many languages do you understand?
I think in terms of native Sarawak language, quite a lot because in
Mm.
even in my high school, we had like 29 races. 29 races. Yeah, so
Oh,
just imagine when you went back to your dorm and then you can see people talking in Kayan, talking in Iban, Melanau. Me myself, I'm not
wow.
Malay. Actually, I
Uh-uh.
am Melanau, but yeah, I do speak Melanau also with my family sometimes, but not really nice lah. It's like a bit like when Mat Saleh trying to speak English, I was trying to speak
I
Malay.
guess as long as
Something like
everyone
that.
can understand each other, it's fine.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, as long as
True.
you guys can understand each other, it's fine. It's
Mm.
it's really interesting how you mentioned that while you were focusing on your French, so there was more of writing in French, speaking in French. So that's where you lost
Mm.
touch with your English proficiency. And then now in your now current state where you are using more English and I guess more bahasa, so you've kind of lost track of your
Yeah,
French,
because
which you focused on so much back when you were
true,
in Form 4, right?
true. Because I think in language, I think it's not really hard to learning language. It's just that you need to practice every day. If you just like simply learn it theoretically, it will not work. You need to speak. that language, then you can be fluent. Yeah.
Love that very
Yeah.
much. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if and I like what you said, it's not just about English, it's any language that we want to
Yep.
learn.
Exactly.
Speaking the language is very important for the theory to then make sense. Because
Yeah.
just theory alone without practice, then the theory remains as just theory, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Right. So how did you get it back? You speak so well. You write amazingly well, especially when I read
Thank
your sharing on
you.
LinkedIn. So how did you get it back?
Okay, so during my once I entered degree, I went to UTP, University Technology Petronas. So during that time, most of my friends, they already have gang, because that time most of them, they did their foundation together. So I was one of the person that did my foundation in University Malaya, and then after that I proceed in University Technology Petronas. So most of my friend, they already have gang, so I don't really have much friend from
Oh,
the girl side. So because you when they already have the gang, right, you can't simply like
join.
join them. It's like so awkward. So that's why I most of my friend, they came from international background, and I think I'm um what we call that. I think I can most of my circle, not really Malay, because sometimes I kind of too straightforward also. Maybe I might hurt some of the my friends' heart because of my straightforwardness.
Oh,
Yeah, so yeah, so most of my friend, yeah, they're Chinese, and then yeah, and we're quite straightforward when it comes to joke, and then you know because we don't really cover much, yeah. And I
yeah,
think sometimes people cannot accept that,
accept it. Yeah,
but it's okay, it's their own choice, right? And for me, I think it's just a matter of finding the right circle for you.
I like that. I like that
Right.
a lot. Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm sure there are many of you out there who do feel left out. Yeah, in
True.
certain similar situations like are you. So again, so much value and so much goal that you're sharing here. It's okay if we feel left out. Then all we need to do is just to find where can I fit in.
Yeah,
So life is
exactly.
about navigating our way around, and it's a journey. So we
Mm.
navigate our way. So if I cannot fit in here, so find a way or a place that we can fit in, because eventually there is a place for every one of us. So it's about finding that. Yeah. So really quickly gonna hit the comment. We've got an sharing by Anissa. She says, "I agree. When we learn language, we need to practice a lot. That's the
Yeah.
only way."
True.
Actually, when I think about it again, especially coming back to what you shared about math, even for math, we can learn all the theory that we want, we can learn all the formulas that we want,
True.
but if we don't put the formulas to practice, if we don't put the theory into practice, we still would not be able to make sense of math, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
True.
regardless of anything that we want to do, it has to come with practice. There's no other way. Another sharing just came in by John. John's joining us all the way from Canada. So what a great experience it must have been for you to be exposed to different languages and make friends with so many backgrounds. Are you? What was it like? What just share a little bit about your experience making friends with people from around the world, students
Mm.
from around the world. What was that like for you?
Okay, so in my university, even though it's local here, but we have a lot of international students, because
Mhm.
some of them, they get scholarship from Petronas, right? And they study
Yes.
in university there, especially because one of the specialty from my uni is all those petroleum engineering thingy. So yeah, they love to study in Malaysia. And also, of course, they choose Malaysia because it's much cheaper, and also the climate is a little bit friendly.
Yes.
You will be having summer for the whole year.
Yes.
Yes, you don't have
All year long.
you don't have four
No
seasons, right? Yeah,
winter.
no winter. And then the good thing about becoming friend with them is that I learn a lot of their culture. For example, one of my
Mm.
friends, we went to Ipoh, Perak that time, and then when we returned to our uni, then suddenly he said to us, "Ayu, is that a buffalo?" Yes. Why? Oh my God, you guys make buffalo as a pet? Yes. Why we gonna eat that? Why? You know what? In Africa, we don't do that. If you the buffalo will kill you if you if you do that to them. Yeah, because most of the buffalo, they are wild, from wild they live in wild, so it's not
Mm.
really a good idea to make them as a pet like what we do in Malaysia. So when he look, it's
Mm.
quite funny when he look at the window and say, "Wow, Malaysian people are very brave."
Uh,
I was
you know what?
laughing so
That's
hard
something
that
new to me
time.
too.
Oh yeah, right.
This is new for me too.
Mm,
That's
mm,
again. I love this. From when you joined UTP, you went in not having any friends. You
mm.
went in not feeling like you couldn't fit in, and then you make friends with all these international students, and the amount of value and the amount of knowledge that you gain along the way. I never knew that in Africa they don't keep buffaloes as
Yeah,
I mean domestically they
Buffalo.
don't keep buffaloes because you might just get
Yeah.
attacked. Wow. So if any one of you, yeah, again, feel left out, you feel like you don't fit in, take the courage, take that step to be friends with people you never thought you would be friend, because you never know what you could learn from them.
Exactly.
It's
True.
awesome. Anissa, it must be nice when you get to learn a language together with their culture too. Yep. Mind to share any unique culture, just nice. She just did. Africans, they do not keep buffaloes because chances are
Yeah.
they will get attacked. So they don't. Okay. Awesome.
True.
And we are also joined by Kandun. He says, hi, Iman, and hi, Ayu. Hello. KL. I call him KL in short.
Hello.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All
Hi,
right.
KL.
Um, yeah. So I do share also now that we've got like Anissa who said that you've learned a lot of cultures. In your opinion, also, what are some of the other benefits of mingling? Because I do know that we do have graduates, we do have students because they fear the English language. They
Yeah,
also there are students, graduates, and young adults who feel alone because they fear the English language. um, uh,
understand.
Fear that wasn't an issue for you, but what would you tell them? What can they do to just put themselves out there, mingle? What
Mm.
good does it bring? Are you?
Okay. I always believe that even if you don't, if you're not good in English, you might be good in other language. So just pretend that, just imagine that English speaker, when they look at us, it feels like they were proud of us because we learn their language, you know. And for me, I think when it comes to learning English, you need to start. It's okay if you have like grammar errors. Even myself, I have quite a lot of grammar errors, but it's okay because as long as the other person understand what we're trying to say,
Yes.
and
Yes.
also we're using the right words, that is very important. Or
Yep.
else you might yeah, they might misunderstand you. Yeah, it's okay, it's fine. And also like and of course when it comes to English, you need to read a lot. That's how I managed to improve my English, because when it comes
Awesome.
to reading, you don't have to deal with other person. You just
Yes.
between you and book, and book will
Yes.
not judge you if you feel afraid. So
I
you
like
just
that.
open your book and then yeah, that's all.
The book won't judge. The book's not
Yeah,
going to
the book
open its
won't
mouth and say,
judge.
"Why are you reading me wrongly? Why did you pronounce me
Yeah,
wrongly?" The book's not going to say that. I love
exactly.
that.
Yeah, true.
How has being able to speak in English, having the confidence to speak in English, how has that helped you in your line of work, in
Okay.
resume writing, in your running your
Um,
workshops? How has that helped you?
I think the most, the one thing that I did correctly during my degree time to improve my English is I joined a lot of competition, and not only like the normal competition, is the pitching, business pitch challenge competition.
Oh,
So yeah, it's like you
you're
need to
one in a million. And how old were you?
yeah.
How old were you?
Yep. So I did my degree since I think 19 years old. So I joined 38 competition since I joined UTP. So just imagine from being like very very bad to yeah, it's like a normal thing already for me. Like okay, competition. And then I just talk. And then, oh, winner. Okay.
So even winning is like
Yeah.
normal. Winning is
Because
like
like what we shared just now, right? Practice
yeah,
makes perfect. So
it's
maybe, of course, the when you start, it's very very hard, and
yeah.
also Of course, you will have like insecurity. People might judge you. You might make mistake, but it's okay. Start first. You don't have to be perfect because that's when you start. That's when you learn how to improve yourself. For example, like myself before, my English is all over the place, and I don't really, I'm not really good in Q&A because in
Mm.
order for you to excel in Q&A, you need to think fast. Whenever people give you question and then you need to answer it directly, especially when it comes to competition, right?
Yes,
The
that's true.
sometimes the question.
Yeah. You will never see it
Ah,
coming. Like, I did not
yes,
prepare for this. Why are they
exactly.
asking me these questions? Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
really think on your feet, right?
yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, true. Mm-mm.
How has that helped you with what you're doing now,
Okay.
especially in helping other people? How
Okay,
has that
so when it comes to English, I feel like there's a lot of people in around me, even though not from UTP usually. They have lack of confidence when they want to practice English because of their
Yes,
environment. It's very
yes.
sad, because I don't really face this kind of thing. If let's say if I face, I will run away from that circle. Yeah, because I think English is important. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course, we still need to memartabatkan our Malay language. But
Yes,
then
yes.
you still need to remember that when it comes to work, English is the first language because
Yeah.
it's a business language, right? So
Yes.
you don't have to speak perfectly or maybe have British accent or UK accent, as long as people understand what you're saying and you manage to
Yeah.
answer any question with the right contact, like you need to have the verb, you need to have nouns, and of course the past tense and present tense. Then you can excel any interview that you go, and of course when it comes to practice, if you practice a lot, then you will get the confidence eventually, right?
That's
Yeah.
true. That's
Mm-mm.
amazing. It's really amazing. One thing that I really like about what you said is it's sad. It's true because I
Yes.
have experienced it myself. Where there was once about easily 12 years ago when I was not even 12 plus minus lah. I think
Mm.
people will know my age if I reveal the actual timeline. I don't want to do that tonight. But I would say easily about 12 years ago when I was a recruitment consultant, I had graduates who graduate from top three public universities with CGPAs of 3.97 in courses like actuarial science, international
Wow.
business, but they are not able to get hired because they did not have the confidence to speak in English during their interview.
True.
So results help you get through the interview door, but at the end of the day, when you're in front of the interviewer, they want to see who you are, they want to see how you are, how confident you are, and if you
True.
cannot pass uh, that bit, then you kind of lose kind of lose out on a lot of opportunities. Yeah. And the other thing I
Exactly.
like about what you said is, yes, you said that if you had to go through that fear, you would run away from that bubble. But the
Yeah.
reality is that a lot of us, and I understand that we go through different things, but a lot of people, when they go through that fear, they stick with people with the same fear. So when you
Yeah.
stick with people
True.
with the same fear, it's very tough to move forward,
Mm.
like just to move out. So I like what you said. Run away when you fear. Run away from that fear. Find people who will help you overcome that fear.
Yeah. True.
Find a support group. Don't stick with people who are scared of the same thing, but find a group of people who can lift you and
Yeah.
really help you be different. Awesome. I love that. Right. Quick hit. Gonna hit the comments real quick. So Anissa says, yeah, agree. When we speak, it's common to make grammar mistakes. Yeah.
Yes.
But the
True.
more we speak, the better we get. Yep. And she goes on to say that, wow, you're so brave and very active. I admire that spirit. I'm sure it's an admirable spirit for almost anyone watching.
Thank you, Anissa.
And LinkedIn user, this is John. John says
John.
38. My goodness. Yeah, right, John? I think I only joined like what, three competitions and I'm already years old. And Ayu is younger and she's joined 38 business pitching competitions. Inspiring, Ayu, totally inspiring. Right. I want to tap on your resume writing expertise. Okay.
Okay.
And for that, I would like to invite you to share 5 tips, all right, on a good resume. 5 tips to write an eye-catching resume. So, what would the 5 tips be? Are you?
Okay. So I think I can share some of the tips based on my experience, because I think I almost did across like 33,000 resume review already. Oh, there's a lot.
That's a lot.
There's a lot. Okay.
That's really a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. So basically, a good resume will use a simple and clean format. You don't have to use Canva. You don't have to use all those fancy fonts, because at the end of the day, especially when you apply job in a big company, usually it's not the first thing that they will do with your resume is they will scan your resume through system. We call it application tracking system. So
Mm-hmm.
if your resume is too fancy, the system might not be able to detect what kind of keywords that you use, because it being covered by all those graphic. And yeah, we can easily identify this by just control F. For example, when when we did our degree, we always control
Yes.
F, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's say if the system cannot control F your resume, that's mean that your resume is not simple and clean enough to be filtered by the system. And this is
Mm.
why some of the high performer, some of the top scorer in university, they didn't manage to get any good jobs, because yeah, their their resume are being removed even before they get into interview. So yeah, try to
Ah,
use simple and clean format for your resume. Just use words. Yeah, it should be fine. Yep.
awesome. Okay, that's
Okay.
tip number one. What's tip number two?
Okay, tips number two would be don't ever rate yourself, because it's arbitrary and you don't know how. Let's say, for example, okay, you want to rate yourself about coding. How do you know that you pro, right? We can just simply like, oh, I think I'm very pro. I put 5 star. No, cannot. Okay, because
Okay, okay.
yeah, it's subjective. Some people they have imposter syndrome. They're very pro, but then they give themselves half star only. I met this kind of person before. And
Yeah.
when it comes to star, it's a graphic. So it's not keywords. So how the system can detect your star, right? Yeah, that's why we cannot rate
Ah,
ourselves. So instead, you can just list down all the skills that you have. You can share with them how you use that skills when you do the interview, and then maybe you shared a little bit of your experience. For example, maybe if you did a project, how do you use your coding skills, or maybe business
mm,
management skills, project management, something like that. Okay,
awesome.
awesome.
That's tip number two. What's the third tip you have for them, Ayu?
Okay, so the third tips will be list experience in reverse chronology. So sometimes people they list down like you know the previous job, they put it up.
Mm,
Usually people are not reading our resume, they're scanning our resume. It's two different
mm,
activities. Reading means they really focus and then they will read from left to right, but then scanning is like 3 to 5 seconds. So we want to make sure that they scan the right the important data first. So that's
mm,
why I always encourage people to list their experience in reverse chronology. Not only
mm,
experience, your education, anything that you
mm.
put in your resume, make sure it's in reverse chronology. So let's say if they're lazy to read the whole resume, they already get the latest information about you.
So the first thing that we want them to know about us is what we put it at the top, and normally whatever that's latest is the one that
Yeah,
we want them to know about
latest.
us first and foremost. Awesome,
Exactly. Sure.
awesome. What's your fourth tip for us tonight?
Okay, so the fourth tip will be, this one is a little bit controversial. I always suggest my client or my friends to use picture in their resume.
Okay.
Because yeah, there's a lot of career coach out there. They said that, oh, don't put a picture on your resume. You need to remember that we're living in 2021. Even though you don't put your resume picture, they can still search your picture by just googling your name. We have social media. I don't think
That's true.
there's anyone in this world that doesn't even have any social media, right? At
That's
least they
true
have
too.
something. Or let's say if they don't have social media, they might be having their names in their university, institution, secondary school
That's true.
also. So we also need to think from a recruiter's perspective. Okay,
Mm.
87% of the recruiters nowadays, they will stalk and review your LinkedIn. So if, let's say, if you already have same picture with your LinkedIn profile in the resume itself, they already know it's you, because of course they're also afraid of scammers like us, right? It's not just
Yeah.
from ourselves. Like for example, like us, a lot of people ask me, "Are you how to know job scammer?" That's a very famous question. Same goes to
Uh-huh.
recruiter also. And
Yeah.
it's much even worse, because they're the one who pay us. We are the one who getting the money from them. So let's say if we cannot build the trust virtually, then how are they going to hire us, right? So
Makes a lot of
I would
sense.
suggest people to put same picture with their LinkedIn profile in their resume. Yeah.
You know what you said is so true and scary at the same time. One way or
Mm.
another, we all have a digital footprint. Mm.
Yes, exactly.
So I don't know whether that's good news or scary news, but yeah, one way
Yeah.
or another, our picture may be in like a school photo that one of our friends have uploaded and tagged us or something. Because everything is digitalized nowadays, isn't it? Our
Yep.
pictures are in every alumni page possible.
And
One
I
way or
think
another, we have a digital footprint.
some,
Yeah.
yeah, some of the company, recruitment company, and also some of the hiring company out there, they have an advanced application tracking system, so
Uh-huh.
all the things that you put inside your resume, they will go through internet and find about the information itself. For example, let's say if
Uh-huh.
you put that you have publication, okay, they will check IEEE. Let's say if you have your LinkedIn profile, then they will see, okay, is there any keywords that the same keyword, because you might be putting a wrong information about yourself, right? Or maybe
Right.
some people are lying about their background. So that are the things that
Mm.
are currently people doing research. Like my PhD also, I'm doing classification system for LinkedIn profile. So I always believe that in the future we might be able to remove our resume, and we can just use our LinkedIn um to apply for job,
For
because
jobs,
I
that's very
feel like,
possible.
yeah, and because I feel like, okay, like resume, everyone can do it. Like you have like 2 3 3 hours, then you sit down with a resume coach. Even more, you can do a very good resume. You can put all those powerful verbs and all. But then when it comes to LinkedIn, it has footprint, like what you said just now. Let's say
Mm-hmm.
if you join live today, right? Then you can see, okay, are you join a lot of live. Let's say if you create content on LinkedIn, then they can see your
Mm-hmm.
performance, and also they can also stalk you at the all activity section. There's a all activity
Yes.
section, right, in LinkedIn,
Yes.
so they can
Yes.
see how you interact with people, what are the
Yes.
things that you always share, and also of
Mm.
course they can also see who are you connecting with, so you can know a little bit. Yeah, you have a big picture of that person, basically, if you use the LinkedIn. And of course, 2 page of resume is not enough to give anyone enough information to
Yeah.
build the trust, right? So that's
Yeah.
why LinkedIn comes in.
Wow. Again, now I'm not sure to be scared. Because, like you said, everything can be found
Yeah.
online.
Yep.
Everything
Sure.
can be found online. But that's so interesting, though, what you said, that that there is a possibility that LinkedIn will be or can be the platform where people look for any and every information to not just see what we've done before, but to
Yeah.
even see our personality. Like you
Sure.
said, how we interact with people, how we respond to people, and what kind of things we respond to. It kind of shows who you are in just one platform.
Yeah. True.
Awesome. Awesome. Final tip for us. Are you on having an eye-catching resume?
Okay. All right. Writing and speaking is different. So for
Yes.
writing resume, you need to use powerful verbs, because you have the luxurious time to change and check your grammar. And of course, I would say make sure that try to use varieties of verbs. And of
Mm.
course, when it comes to job description, try to use bombastic verbs like excel, address, design, something like that. So when people read it, people know that you're doing something in your job.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's not really recommendable to like always use responsible for,
Mm.
maybe assign, work closely with. Actually, there's a lot of option out there. And let's say if you don't have any idea how to start, you can just visit my LinkedIn profile. I shared a lot of tips there. Yeah, like
Yes.
yesterday, and the post went viral. I think for the
Yeah, yeah.
power verbs, yeah, it has like
Yes.
almost 100K views and
Wow.
2,000, yeah, 2,000 likes yesterday's post.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, so go and visit her. Her handle is Ayu Shahira Salim on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing tips, Ayu. Thank you so much. I'm going to quickly hit the comment again. Yeah, we've got a few comments from
Mhm.
Anissa. All right, so she's taking notes. She's taking notes about what you're sharing. So she's saying, oh my, so I guess you just stick to basic when it comes to resume. Yep, looks like it. Yep.
Yes.
Now, because especially now, like what Ayu said, everything is digitalized. It's not like it was 10, 20 years ago. When it comes to rating myself, I find it difficult because I feel like I overrate myself. So good news, you don't have to rate yourself.
Yes.
And this is my first time hearing about job scammer. Yes, job scammers do exist.
Yes. True.
It does exist. Okay.
Mm.
We've got Atika also who's saying, wow, amazing Ayu. Yep, amazing tips, amazing
Thank you,
stuff from
Atika.
someone who's been doing this since she was 9 years old, people. You've worked longer than I have. Oh my gosh, you're
Yeah.
younger than me, but you've worked longer than I have.
I
Oh
didn't
my
realize
gosh.
that, no.
I just realized that as well. Awesome. Okay,
Ah,
Ayu, you've been amazing. We've got one more, just one more. John
okay.
says, great advice. Ayu, yep, use action verbs instead of responsible for. Exactly. It shows that you're active. And like what Ayu also
Yes.
said, it shows that what you've done. Design, that's what you've done. Excel, that's
Mm.
what you've done. Developed, that's what you've done. So words that show what you have done. Responsible for, what is it that you're responsible for? So we need to show what exactly we are,
Yeah.
what exactly we have done. Awesome,
Sure.
awesome, awesome. All right, are you amazing? I think if I don't stop this conversation, we can go on and on. But um, on a final note, are you, after everything that you've achieved, inspired so many thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people on LinkedIn, and I'm sure along the journey that you've been through, what's a final word that you would say, or what's a final advice to people who feel alone, who feel like this, they don't have anyone to, be there for them, lone rangers basically? What do you have to say to them?
Okay, for me, every new day of my life is like a new opportunity for me, for myself to change actually. So I would suggest that, let's say, if you have anything that you want to achieve, for example, losing weight, or maybe you want to learn English, you want to get a good job, actually, yeah, actually, it's a matter of starting somewhere, For example, like my LinkedIn, if I don't start posting before, I will not be who I am today. And
True.
also, like, yeah, and also, of course, there will be we will be facing a hard time throughout the journey. But actually, that is the good thing about being a human, because
Yes.
yeah, you learn a lot. And I always think, let's say, if I face any challenges in my life, I always say to myself, Allah is being funny to with me. So so I think I need to work hard to face this. And then sometimes, right, when I look back at my life, right, oh, okay, now I get it why you do that to
Yeah.
me. Yes. So, like, for example, like why I studied in here, not in France. And then after that, I also see why I started LinkedIn. Maybe, yeah, there's a reason, right, for everything. That's why
It's true.
sometimes if it's hard, it's okay to cry. It's okay to be lazy sometimes. I always use. I think I'm also always lazy, even though.
I
But
think we all
sometimes I
have
force
those lazy
myself.
moments.
Yes, lazy
We
moment and
all,
all.
I have them too.
Yeah, true. But it's okay because we're human, right?
Yeah.
And of course, everything that we want to achieve, if you want to achieve anything, just start. And you don't have
I
to
love
be
that.
perfect. Yeah. Mm,
I love that. I love that. Are you just a few more comments that have come in? Anissa says this is
oh,
such an insightful session. Yep, that's why I brought her in. And AJ says that he agrees with John. Yep, that we need to show what we can do. Action
exactly.
verbs.
Sure.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you once again. Are you? You've been a pleasure.
Oh,
In our
thank
short stint of getting to know each other. It's always rushed, especially because you're such a busy woman. And
thank
therefore,
you
I
so
really appreciate,
much.
you're most welcome. I really appreciate you making the time to inspire even more people tonight. I wish you all the best with your doctorate, right? And I look forward to seeing you update your Dr. Ayu Shahira Salim status one day, inshallah.
4
I'm
years
rooting for
later.
you. You will get
If
there.
I
You will
succeed, if
get
I
there.
succeed, inshallah.
Inshallah, you will. Inshallah, you will. Thank you for all your all of your word of advice.
Okay.
So to everyone out there who's listening, if you ever feel alone, just start somewhere because you never know where that might just take you.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
Thank you so much, everybody. This is Iman and Ayu signing off. Have a good evening. Assalamualaikum. Good night.
Bye bye. Good night.